6-inch or
Yeah.
whatever.
Right now, it's doing what it's supposed to do with no problems.
So where is the manhole?
On the corner of Harley in front of the
No, it's not. It's on the edge of the highway.
Down on the edge of the highway.
Is that on city property? No.
No, it's on state property. Yeah, it's down a ways towards the ball, right off the curb.
Yeah, it's only about 50 feet from the street.
Okay.
Now,
Down the easement?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
On the slope.
if Sue's pumped it to her property line, would there be a drop to the manhole?
It'd have to go uphill, I think.
It goes uphill.
That won't work.
No, see, if the line goes down in the bar ditch, I think, I'm not sure where the line goes.
Yeah.
It might follow, if it follows the highway all the way down, then it'd be fairly level.
Well, see, I talked to the state, DOT, and I described to him what was going on with that, and it was to get an easement to go ahead and go down the highway. It would take us at least 6 months to get an easement.
3 to 6 months.
He said closer to 6 because it has to go through 4 separate offices.
Well, we've been screwing around with this for 4 months.
Right. And see, and that's my
We
problem.
could have had this done in 2 months if we got after it.
Right, but that's my problem, is that all of this stuff is coming to us now. Why wasn't, you've had 4 or 5 years, why hasn't that been done before?
They had no plans of selling the property.
No.
I wrote a letter to the councilman, every single councilman, over a year ago
Did you?
about the property.
It was supposed to be taken care of, and you just,
Yep.
the lid was
There you
dropped.
Every
go.
single councilman I wrote a letter to. Except for you, Dave, I'm sorry.
Well,
You were on the
I wasn't on board.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna smoke that sewer, or the water line and the sewer line, see if there are any, especially the sewer line, just mainly that.
Can't smoke the water line, can you?
No, we have to turn it off. We'll smoke the sewer line and see if there's actually a leak or a crack or anything in there. And then we're going to have to come up with some kind of a plan. And we're just going to have to look at our budget, but we can do that.
They want to put what they want to do is they want to put
If you wanted to do a line, the easiest way
well,
to
a
do
1
it
inch
is
line, leave it 1
across
inch
the
line, put a
road
cap, put a 2 inch line going off there.
from the main, go down on our property line without having to dig up all the driveways and alleys and everything else. You end up crossing one driveway, which is big,
Don't say they. Don't say they.
straight down and then over.
Okay, here's what we're going to ask of you. We're going to ask you if the town just annex the house out of the town so we can get a well put in. We have to sell.
That you have to jump through 20 million hoops.
I don't care how many hoops you got to jump through. I mean, I need water at the house.
I know.
Oh, okay, so
But we don't have to jump through hoops. You do.
Okay, well, whoever. I mean, the lawyer will put it through hoops. Believe me, he will put it through hoops.
Okay.
He's already got the stuff. So if you want to go that direction, we can go that direction. But I'm just telling
Well,
you
it's up to you.
that. Well, I'm just
Yeah.
saying that if you want to annex us in, we already got a guy that gave us a price on putting our own well in and stuff like this. So we can get water to our own house.
Okay,
If you
you're
don't wanna
already
do this.
annexed into the town for the house.
Annexing out. is
You
what-
want to be annexed out.
What about your sewer? Is that already separate?
This,
The house sewer?
the sewage for the house, no, that's already part of the whole deal anyway. That's not on the house.
not on
It's
there.
not on the house
No.
property. No.
The
It's
sewer's
public.
not on the city.
It's public. You're on public sewer
So,
for the house.
so Sue, how would you take care of the sewage from the house if you pulled that out of the city services?
This house doesn't have its own sewage.
Well, it's got bathrooms, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's going into a pump grinder thing we have there, a separate
Right,
pump that
and where
goes
does
into the
that
restaurant.
goes into the city service,
Eventually it goes back over into the restaurant, yeah.
and that goes into the city service.
Yeah.
Right.
You can
So-
still have city services and be annexed out of the town. You just can't be in the town and not have city
Right.
services.
So,
That's, okay.
Huh?
yeah, you
So I
can,
didn't know that.
Yeah.
you can
Legal
still have
problem.
services, yeah.
Yeah, all I've been doing is just dealing with
The
these
problem
people.
is you can't have a well. If you're in within the
Yeah,
city.
if I'm in the city limits, I can't have a well. I have to, I mean, I can't wait, and this is nobody's fault here, not putting blame on anybody, but I can't wait until it's winter time, and then she gets a contract on the house, and I say, well, sorry, but now I gotta do a well, or I can't give you water. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna work like that. I've gotta do something in a timely manner, and I mean, if we were talking about a month or 60 days or something, we would say like, okay, you know, we'll go with that, but that's workable. But I'm saying if we're talking about this length of time, then it puts me in the winter, then I can't put in a well, and, you know, I'm trying to sell the house eventually.
Right.
Well, the way I look at it, if that's gonna benefit you, and the house being in its own deal, and then, but you still want us to continue on the sewer, correct? Because
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
been an
yeah,
issue
yeah,
too.
yeah,
I've seen
that's
that
been
as
an
it goes.
issue. And we'll still have to go with, you know, this is totally, let's take it as totally two separate things.
Right.
Okay, 'cause
Let's do the house first, okay, because this is, you know, the business and stuff like this, I've been dealing with this crap with DEP forever. So it's like, it's another step in who knows what direction. But as far as the house goes, I mean, I know it's gonna cost you money, I know the town doesn't have, I'm not trying to be rude or ignorant, but anyway, I'm being totally, as upfront as I can be.
Basically, we don't have a viable source of water for the house.
Mhm.
The stuff coming through the restaurant doesn't count as a viable source of water. So you've got a house that's within the city
Right,
limits.
I realize that the water and sewer both go from the house, go
Right,
through.
so you've got
Through the business, yeah.
a piece of property that's within the city limits that the town is unable to provide water to within a reasonable amount of time, and they won't allow her to drill a well. So we basically have a piece of property sitting there that is completely unusable.
Right. But
So-
what we're looking at is a plan where we're gonna go with this to put in the water line, the 2-inch from the main to the property line, and then you guys can put the, wherever you want.
But the main is
put
only
it.
1 inch. And it's
Yeah,
not.
the water main
We
is
would have to
only 1
replace that
Yeah, I'm
with a
saying.
larger main.
So you're talking about running a 2-inch from all the way up on Harley, wherever, or
Right,
wherever
We're
it
we're
comes
talking
down.
about putting in a line that's big enough to service both properties
properties.
independently.
From the main up near
Yes.
Harley or
Is there
wherever
a
that is.
possibility of getting an easement from Beeper?
Now, I brought that up at the, not the last meeting, but the meeting before that.
Yeah.
I don't know that we
Mike said
pursued
he
it.
would be glad to give us an easement, or do an easement, but he didn't say what his cost would be,
Okay,
because I'm sure he would charge us.
Get the proper depth of the water line, if you looked down across, straight across that property.
uh-huh,
We start up, then we go way down,
Right,
with running plastic line on it. If you ran plastic, you can bury it 4 foot deep.
yeah, I think you can pull it. I think
The
they
thing to
pull.
do would be to
They pull
cross,
that black
cross
plastic
the
without
street.
even trenching.
right.
go across the street and up the side of the orchard side, and then over. Not follow the line that it is in there now.
Oh,
If you're
what's the
going to
benefit
do
of
it.
that, Bill?
Hmm?
What's the benefit of doing that?
The benefit of doing that is you're not chewing up,
Beekler's property?
no, Barker's property.
Oh,
We're chewing up only city property, then tunnel under Beekler's driveway. You got one driveway to mess with. Otherwise, we have where the shop, the entranceway to their shop, an alley, and
Okay.
everything, and then
makes
across.
sense.
Well, we
You still
better,
have having to cross that street. Once you get down a ways, after you chew up all this stuff, then you have to cross it anyway. If you cross, then you're on city property, go under Beekler's driveway, still on city property, and then turn, then you get into their way.
Okay?
I guess I'm looking at it on their side on de-annexing on the house and everything. I mean, if it benefits them, I mean, we lose one water customer, I guess, at $140 a month, but it moves them ahead, or do we continue on this path? That's where I'm going.
Okay. I mean, the other thing is I'll propose is, don't really want to go here, but I'll go here. You write us something saying that I have permission to put the well on the property, okay? Then you don't lose the taxes on the property, okay? And we have water.
Yeah, done.
well, the thing of it is to put well or septic on your property for your house. It goes through the county first, not us.
It won't be a septic, it'll be water.
But still, a well.
So,
It's
a well,
still
a well you
through
would
the
have to get a
county.
permit for, but that's a very easy process. It's not the same as a septic permit.
Is there a difference between just, they're getting well permit and a
Drinking water permit?
drinking water permit.
Pretty much the same thing.
It's all the same
You just
thing.
have to have it tested.
You just gotta have a perk test, make sure
Gotta be
you've got proper
potable.
drainage, yeah, make sure that it's potable water and.
He's checking in, I called Douglas Drilling, and he was out today, and he's checking into it.
It's a good bunch to roll through there.
We just want to be able to offer an option to whoever it is that moves into the house, that they have to buy a source of water.
By
Yeah.
far,
So,
I would say.
And the
Well, no
sewer
matter
remains.
which way we go, though.
So would
it's-
you have to have then a lift station for both properties?
We do,
You already do?
yeah.
Okay.
yes, they already
Yeah,
We put $40,000 into that lift station in that part right there.
Right.
Okay,
So that's $40,000 worth of work right there.
yeah.
And then it grinds it completely and it puts it in a 2-inch,
Yeah.
2-inch, runs it over to
Other one.
the other one.
Okay.
And then we have an easement, we had the surveyor come out, and he did easement through the property for the sewage,
Okay.
through the,
So does it go into a holding tank that holds both?
it's not
Residents
supposed
in the
to.
barn?
It's supposed to, the way we've got it set up now is we got, after thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, I don't want to tell you now, when you guys shut down over here, you were backing up into us, so it blew pump after pump after pump. I've probably replaced 5 commercial pumps. Now we got an alarm system on it and a backup on it, so it shuts it down. You can't back up into
There's
it.
pressure coming into it?
Yeah, you can't. It shuts it down completely. The alarms go on, and we just start holding in our own tanks.
Now you're talking about sewage?
Sewage.
Yeah.
Sewage, yeah.
So when did we shut down? We had
When-
water problems with the
Okay,
lines, but
I'm
not
saying when you
sewage.
shut down, when we can't go over to you, for one reason or another, when
Whether
we
it's-
stop being able to
whether
go
it's
over to you.
frozen or
Or for
whatever.
whatever reason. It stops and we can't go out, so it shuts it down, the alarms go off, and it doesn't burn up another motor. We also had our motors encased, because you guys, they were putting rocks and everything else back through there. When it came and it thawed out, it put rocks and stones and everything, so it was more motors. So we've got this now, so it's totally foolproof.
Downhill run,
Hmm?
probably because it's downhill run.
Yeah.
It is, it's got a steep slope all around that business, front, back, and
And they're all
both
on full
sides.
now, switches, so you know, they get so full, the switch comes on, comes out.
Right. Like a septic, or like a,
You have the same thing down at the sewer plant.
Right, they just have, like a sump
So-
pump, yeah,
Yeah.
but they have a
So we got a full
pressurized tank, so.
sewage system on the sewage.
The water is
And
good.
when you guys shut down, I call them and they come pump it out from all. And that's what I did all winter.
Well, we're gonna have to do something, but we're gonna have to look at the budget too.
well, I don't know what choice we have. I mean.
This is going to take that
this-
much to lay a 2-inch line.
This has gone on way too long.
Well, we're talking about a 4-inch sewer line too,
Oh, yeah,
because, I mean, right now, 1.5-inch sewer line with a pressure pump going into our sewers is working fine for a while. But we're gonna have to look at later
Yeah,
on
yeah.
putting in a 4-inch sewer line, because this is ridiculous.
Just
but for the time being, the water
to
is.
sell
I
the
said,
property,
guys,
they need the water line.
Problem number one is there's not enough water for the house.
Right.
Right.
So to remedy that, if she is all for it and wants to pursue in the house being annexed, she can get her own well, the house is sustainable, it's up and running.
Yeah,
And then
that's her call.
the next problem is the sewer. Then, okay, the house is fixed, we're worried about sewer. We can isolate a problem and work with each.
Is the 1-inch line enough to run the restaurant?
For the water.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Standard for a commercial is 1.5 to 2,
Right.
an independent line. just
Whatever
for
DEQ
commercial.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, a 1-inch really isn't sufficient, but we're concerned mainly about the house.
Well, that's probably that's what I was told, but I could have been wrong,
Well,
so
you would
I
know.
will double check with
If
it.
the 1-inch line is legal or not for,
Well, it is, but
commercial.
if it's not,
It's-
if it doesn't have enough volume or pressure, then it's not going to satisfy both properties. It might satisfy right now the business, but when she hooks the water into her home and
Yeah,
sewer,
yeah.
it may not work that well.
And if we
because
ever
There's
have the idea that house, even though we unannex it, it might come online eventually again. why don't we put the right size line, the supply, down the street to start with?
Right.
I agree.
We'd have to do it before winter.
We need to get this done.
And we
This
need
thing is
to-
stalled
we
forever.
Need to go straight across Beekler's property.
Now, is the requirement where if you are within the city limits, you cannot have a well? Is that a city rule or
I
is
have-
that a county or
I have a
state?
well.
County.
I have a well in my yard.
Yeah, but it's not.
I just drilled mine.
But you're not allowed to drink it.
No.
That's
Yeah,
what
you
that's what we
do.
I
should
just
do.
drilled mine.
But it's
3
just
Oh,
years
that's
ago.
true.
irrigation
Yeah.
now, right?
I
To
use it
water.
for irrigation only, and that's specified.
Right.
The reason I ask is that if it's a city statute, then we could do a variance just until the proper size line
Well, the
is
city code
brought
only
in.
says that
But-
if you're within 100 feet of the main, then you are required to hook into city services.
But
I'd be
But as far
really-
as the
But as
not
far as
being
the
able to
well.
have, yeah, that's.
I would
if
be
that's
really
a county.
concerned about you drilling a well out there and expecting to use it for potable water.
Right.
That damn,
That was
That
nothing
thing's
but
a-
a
that's a
slough out there
swamp.
for a long time. I can
man, you would
remember the
have,
beach truck
I would be
drivers.
afraid that you'd have $40,000 invested just to make that damn stuff drinkable.
I agree with you.
And then you have to
Absolutely.
put in, you know.
That's
you're
that's
looking-
our kind of our last ditch effort.
I
For
don't know
trying to
that,
get water.
I don't know that, I mean, that, you're right, that's a last ditch effort. I don't think we should entertain that,
Yeah.
to tell you the truth. I
But you
think
go
the city
back,
is responsible to get you some goddamn water, and we should do it.
right.
Well, and the problem is that there was never an established easement the first time the water was, if they
Well,
had
there
gone
was an
through one.
easement in 1961, but I talked to, yeah, and I talked to them and I said, can we, because we have maintained that easement over the years, so I asked if we could get grandfathered in, and he said, absolutely not.
Absolutely not, why? Because it's no longer used, it was
Right.
abandoned?
Right.
But when they got the water originally, it was, they didn't utilize that particular easement.
No,
So that's where the problem lies. is
right.
There was
The
no
easement
easement.
expired and it was not grandfathered in because nobody requested it.
Right.
And if they would have at that point and just kept doing it every year, then, yeah, we wouldn't have a problem now. But right
Right.
now, we're looking at design project and everything else for the easement, and which case will take anywhere from 3 to 6 months, or maybe longer, because we have to go through like 4 to 5
If you
different
go,
If we
if
offices.
go
you
on
go
the
through
state.
the, yeah,
Right,
if you
if
go
we
on the
go
state
on
line.
on the state, yeah.
But we have a lot of other options for.
Right.
To put, lay a plastic line in, all we need is a deep trencher, right?
Right.
Another pole.
Yeah, I don't know whether that's the most economical way, or actually hire somebody to pull that pipe.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure.
Don't know if they can pull it with all the ups and downs across there.
Plus you have the ground, plus out there, you've got that groundwater fluctuation. And that doesn't help your situation
Right.
either, because
Right.
every time the groundwater comes up, so do your tanks, so everything goes up and down, up and down, up and down. I can remember when the beat trucks used to dump their tear in there 50 some odd, 60 odd years ago and fill that, and everybody, the farmers and everybody used to bring all their excess dirt and crap and fill in there. They never put any drain tiles or anything in there, so,
You almost started filling in the swamp
right.
back when Golly.
Jeremy do the trench.
It was a swamp.
I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
And you can directional drill, I guess, you can pull it. I mean, you have to
Yeah.
find somebody
Yeah.
who's
Still all the way. The only one.
Really?
that they can do that.
State line.
State line, yeah. they
Yeah,
can-
well, I can
1,000
talk,
feet,
I can talk to
1,500
Mark
feet.
and see, have him come and look and see what it would cost to do that.
I've done a lot farther than that. And bigger, 20-inch pipe.
Upseas and downsies. Cause that's goes.
Down underneath creeks, underneath railroad, back up.
We did the city.
They control that head, that chronic.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, crossing the street and going up along this side of the orchard, across the front of Beekler's place and then straight over, rather than follow the existing line now. If you follow that now, it's just a mess.
You mean going across the street by
You go on the west
Ross's?
side of Beekers?
On
Just
Ross's
going-
place?
Straight across to Harlem.
Right.
The beach is down, straight across off the main, hang a right,
Go right in front
go
of the
down,
beakers.
hang a left over to their property.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay.
That way you only have one driveway to mess with.
Well, we need to have a
Highway,
plan and we need to have it
highway.
tonight so we can get this mess taken care of.
And we go across there. And,
That'd be the
because
cleanest.
if you go down in front of Barker's, you have a hole.
Oh, yeah.
Is that something Jeremy can do?
He can trench it for the line with the backhoe. We don't have a problem with that.
Okay, so what other costs can we see that are involved?
We'd have to pay for line and to get it tapped. We'd have to, because our tap, I don't know where it's at, but it got stolen or something.
Okay.
It goes in.
So it's not, that's
But
not,
we can rent a tap
it's not
machine.
gonna break us?
No.
What's the,
The cost is putting the line in, not the line
Right.
itself.
And that's if we
'Cause you're
contract it
using
out,
2-inch plastic.
we have our own people
right?
and our own equipment.
Right?
You could do a cross with our equipment. Only 2 places if you had to bore under the
Then we might have
street
to hire that,
and under the deal.
Well, yeah, we'd have to talk to the rudders and see what it costs to bore
okay?
and pull that through instead of digging. And if the cost is not extensive, or, you know, then, yeah, that's a better idea for me anyway. I think it's a better idea to
Yeah.
bore and pull. That way we don't have to disturb all that property.
Is there any chance of getting an easement through,
Beacon?
no?
The next.
Probably not Ross. He said he had to do it after the hit.
No, that's a secret spot
Well,
there.
I'm just saying, like, right on the side of the orchard, because I border him for most of that.
Right,
I was just saying if we went down to the very side of the orchard where it's like Beekler and then me.
right. Is that what you're talking about, Bill? Go down on the west side of Beekler's past the orchard,
That's
come off the highway?
Because
No.
doesn't Beekler border him and
Yes.
then it would be on me.
Right.
Down just past the house, halfway to the house, the highway, and then go over.
Okay.
Now, if you cross there, the only thing going across there is you're messing with all the fences and tree roots and,
Right,
and the sacred apples.
Is that the case if we hug the property though?
No.
To the west or to the east?
No, because we
No.
got our city property
because
right
we already
outside
have,
the
our-
street.
yeah, we already have.
We're
our
outside
easement
their
there.
fence, we've got
Yeah, we can.
15 feet there, 20 feet to play with.
I think that would be the cleanest
We
way.
go under there, bury our line down and go straight over. And how deep does it have to be? 4
It has
feet?
to be 4.5 to 5 feet deep, has to be.
Okay.
Now, if you're digging that with the backhoe and just putting pipe in there, you have to have all of them.
You have to have the backfill and all that, yeah.
Gravel and,
Yeah, not big chunk, but little fines. So
It's gotta be buried.
I will get a hold of Mark tomorrow, I'll call him
okay?
and have
Let
him
him
come
get
over and
over it.
look at it and
Okay.
see what he thinks the cost would be just to bore and pull that line through.
That I'm talking to Mike, that's kind of P1. Beacon.
First, we have to check with the beaker.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Well,
priority
I think
number
we
one on
already
all
have
that.
an easement through there, but
But a confirmation would be huge on that, because otherwise then we're just treading water.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because we're gonna tear up part of his grass. And
Yeah.
it goes down in front of the greenhouse, you know.
Well,
Mhm.
if you have an easement, you already, it's still good.
I would,
Once you have an easement,
I
it's
don't think
There
I
was
don't have one.
Yeah,
It's
and
not
I'm
a recorded
not
easement.
sure when those
I think it was
utilities.
It's not a recorded easement.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm
what
not
you
sure
said,
when
it was
when those utilities were
Elvis
put
and
in
A.
across
Franklin, a
Beekler's
big line
property.
over.
I mean, it could have been
Never about this.
1961.
The engineer says there is not an easement coming into the property,
Okay.
water or sewer.
Well,
I'd say we go clean all the way through. We have paperwork that proves. we didn't
Right.
corrupt.
Because
Well,
that's,
yeah, we
it's
need-
a commercial business. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what they're not. Okay, they want to know that I'm not getting water or sewage from Bob's backyard. You know what I mean? It's just, I'm serving the public.
So we're
and-
looking at boring water and sewer,
No, we're just.
or just
Water.
water?
Just
Water,
supply.
we'll figure out the sewer is after they do the smoke.
And I would say a 2-inch line.
Right.
That should be one space.
It would certainly behoove you to get an easement
Yeah.
and take the same route as the sewer, because if you have, say, a major leak and it shows that it is a undocumented illegal easement on somebody's private property, you are gonna gain a
That's why we get an easement
Lots of trouble.
across, we get an easement across Beekman, but if we follow the sewer now, you're looking at 4 to 6 months before we can even start.
Oh, is that the one that runs along the
Yeah.
highway? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Why would
Now,
you
you wanna wait for
because
that,
huge
then
ones.
you're in a problem.
So how is that put in without,
I
on the
don't
state
know.
ground? It was just.
Who knows?
It was done late at
It
night.
was done way back before the highway was widened for one.
Right.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
I think it was done way back in 61, 60, somewhere around there.
I don't
59.
think they didn't have public water out there
No,
at
no.
the roadhouse.
That might not have been highway land when they put that in.
Might not have
That
been.
highway was way narrow.
Yeah, it was narrow.
Yeah, because easement right now is the center of the highway, 80 feet.
Yeah. See, so that might not have even been on state property. when they
And
put
that's
it in.
most of my parking lot. That's
Yeah.
like right outside my front door.
Yeah.
The surveyor came and marked it. You can see where the orange stakes are. It's
Yeah.
running right down the center of my parking lot. I don't
The
have
highway
any of my
easement,
parking lot.
yeah. So, okay, well, I'll get a hold of Mark DeRutter tomorrow. I might even call him
You
tonight.
need to contact Beekler.
And, yeah, I'll get a hold of Mike.
And we
And
have Jeremy
he's-
do a rough measure on materials for pipe and
Right.
stuff like that.
Jeremy can go out and measure that and
Gravel.
put in the right amount. I
They
think
did
we'd only
widen that
need,
highway in 67. We did this half in 87. They have a 20
So-
from.
I'll get a hold of Mike too
Yeah.
and see
So,
um,
you know, Bill Moore's bar used to
about
set
the easement.
where the parking lot is with the Two Bear now.
And I should have
Two
answers
Bear used to be Ajax grocery store.
by tomorrow afternoon, maybe
You never back
Monday.
that far.
Well, I mean,
No,
honestly,
Miller did.
it's irrelevant what the cost is, it has to be done.
It was the
I
next
mean,
building.
can we get a resolution that states something as simple
The
as,
city cannot, according to law, we
Remember
cannot write a resolution
I
committing the
didn't
town
come in
to
town until
anything.
64.
I'm not sure how that works. How can you not commit to
Exactly.
doing anything, or you do
Well,
Well,
resolutions
I
all the
mean, the
time?
resolutions, I know, but mostly it has to do with city, with financial problems or with easements. We do write resolutions for easements and things like that.
Okay, then can we do it as a resolution stating that an easement will be obtained to provide water to this
No,
property?
we're working on it. We don't need a resolution saying we're doing it.
Well, we do. We need something in place so we can tell people that this is getting done. You know,
Yeah.
something in place that says, yes, this, I mean, like you said, this has been going on for
Yeah.
4 months. We can't put a buyer of this property in the same situation where 6 months from now, nothing's been done. You know, we need to be able to give them something concrete
What's
that
that?
says this will get done.
I will get a hold of Hope when I get home. I'll give her a call, leave her a message. She can get all the legalities and everything that we need to do, and we'll go from there.
So there's no kind of commitment you can make to say that we're gonna put water to this property?
I mean, obviously, I mean, you've mentioned lawyers. We have to
Right.
be lawyered up too. You know, I hope you understand. I mean,
No, we understand. It's
We
we're
don't know
just-
all the laws, we don't know all the rules. We know what should be done.
Right, we know the right thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
But,
it's,
but as to write a resolution or make something,
And as soon as we get our
Historical.
information,
Who's going to get hold of Mike first thing?
I will. I'll call Mike and I'll call Mark, and I will leave a message for Hope. She's got family here this week, so she won't be back until Monday or so.
So we get a hold of him.
But-
Mike is still Bridger, right?
Right, but what I'd like to do is get this resolved so that we can get it started like sometime in August. Get it done.
that was what I was gonna ask for, is
Everybody else.
have this thing in process,
Right.
in progress
So that we're.
at our next
yeah,
meeting,
Right,
so that we can have an update.
right.
But we're gonna have to have a special meeting to do that.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, because it'd be nice
If
to
you
get
guys
Mike
want to
here and
go
everybody.
with me when we leave here, I'll
Yeah,
Show you
anybody
where-
that wants to go over there can. I would like to get more
If
information.
we're gonna talk to Mike about getting an easement, we should have a rough idea of where across
wanna
the
go.
property we wanna go.
I agree.
Jeremy and Josh will probably be here Monday or Tuesday to smoke that line. So we'll know exactly where it's at.
So that's the
We
sewer.
don't know
That's
where
the
the
sewer,
water, the
right.
sewer line,
Right.
We're talking about.
where water.
I believe the water is probably 4 feet west of the sewer line.
Maybe.
I'm not positive because nobody knows where the water and sewer lines are in this town. The maps are all
That's-
wrong.
But see, where the line is now is not where we want the line to go.
Right.
If we can avoid state land, we cut all that months of
Red tape.
Red
digging
tape,
down and
yeah.
around. We talked to Mike and he says, okay, for whatever, we go straight across there, you start digging.
But if the sewage is on state land, you guys are still gonna have to get an easement for it, whether you do nothing to it at all.
I know.
You have to get an easement for it.
Yeah, that has to be, but that can be a long process.
Yeah.
That's
But I mean, if we're working on it and I got something to tell them, it's different than,
the smoke of the line won't show the exact location unless there's a leak in the
Unless
middle.
Unless there's a break.
Yeah,
Leak in the middle of it, we say, now we know where it's at. If there's no leak,
and that's what we're looking for when we smoke the line, so, that sewer line anyways, because we've been told.
So
there's
if
a
we
crack
get
in it or
the
something.
2-inch supply over there sewer, you're gonna pursue de-annexation?
no, I got water.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, like she's, we're just talking, I'm just trying to think of a way that we can sell the house.
Right.
it's like Dave says, you try to drill forever there and never hit potable water.
Right.
I know guys that went down 300-400 feet and still have water in it.
Mhm.
It's a nasty mineral hard valley.
I honestly cannot imagine why anybody would want to put anything on that property. That's like
Why
Schlemmer's
they-
filling in their sewer and putting
Why they
a
built it
complex
there
on it.
way back when, and they had to have an island.
It was 4 feet lower, too, believe that.
Well, there was five steps up to the building.
They filled that all in.
Yeah, I also started with the before.
No, we're gonna do it
After he
separate,
runs,
separate,
seat the
special
table,
meeting.
yeah.
Yeah, right after the council meeting, because we need to get started on this as soon as we can.
So,
Okay, so I'll get the information from Mike and Mark, and we'll have Josh and Jeremy see if they can't. Now, that new locator that we got should locate those water lines. There are pins in the water lines in the saddle. They should be able to go down there and locate those. So,
So you want to do a special meeting before the council meeting? No, but
After.
maybe easy.
No,
After,
the
that's
council
what-
meeting's gonna be the,
We could do it on the council
Yeah.
meeting as
I
a
mean,
whole
if
If we
business.
can get all the information, I mean, we're gonna have to really,
Yeah, if we
get after
have it before
Well, 5 business
Thursday,
days.
so if we have
Yeah,
it
4 business
by the
days.
1st of August, all the information by the 1st of August,
then,
then I can put it on the agenda for
Okay.
an update on old business,
and
where everything
we
is.
could possibly vote on it.
And,
Yeah.
yes, and
Yeah.
I
possibly.
give you
vote for
next
the-
week, so,
Yeah.
but Mark, if you tell Mark we have to have it,
right,
he'll probably come out and look at it.
Yeah.
Mike is accessible.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Those are 2 big steps there.
Otherwise, we can wait and then after, if we can't get it by the 5th, before the 5th and put it on the agenda, then we can do a special meeting after the 5th.
In the month of August.
In the month of August.
Yes.
And get, and.
that
have
still
it-
gives us the whole month of August, and it's the
We,
first
you
part
know,
of
we can do
September
it
to
any
get this
day after
done.
the 5th, it's just,
I mean, to get the process.
I don't think once
The-
we
the
get
digging and
started,
everything
it'll take that
started.
long to run.
I don't think
Well,
so
no,
either.
no.
And just getting this thing going is,
So if not a resolution, if we're not looking for a resolution to say we're going to put water to this house, what is it that we're looking for? And what is it that we'll get at the meeting or at the special meeting that
Okay.
will state that this
We'll
is?
find-
We'll get the
Funds.
information as to what we need to do, how much it's gonna cost, and,
how we're gonna
how we're
appropriate
gonna
funds.
approach,
Okay.
yeah, how we're going.
So it'll be an
and then
appropriation of funds
Right.
rather than
And
an
then
action.
how we can, how we're gonna approach your property line from the city. Soon as that, we'll have that information within 3 or 4 days.
Okay.
And Mark will come out and look at it. Then at the regular council meeting, we can go over the information, get an agreement with everyone. The council can vote on when we want to get started, and within the next week,
If-
we can.
If we can accumulate all that
Right.
information in a
Well, we
short period of
should,
time.
we should be able to, because we can, I can go to.
If we can't, then we promise you, we will have a special
I
meeting
mean,
and address it.
Right,
We
there's
won't
a,
make that go another month.
putting your meter.
there's a
over here.
spot
That's
on my property, quite a bit on the Beco's property. It's like it goes straight right here and then it comes down.
Mhm.
You can look at it on the thing, on the map, but it comes down quite a bit. If we can get the water line, if you can get some kind of easement into here till it reaches our property, we'll be responsible to pay for everything once
Right.
it hits our property
Right.
on.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
that's.
Yeah, and that's-
that's
The meter
my
and all.
Yeah, yeah, and we totally agree with that. Paul
We
is more
want
than
to
willing.
move the meter,
But I'm saying, if you can
What?
get it close to this,
would we move
This to
the
get it
meter
onto
They
our
from-
can have
property.
that
Oh, yeah,
meter
that
that,
should
that
be-
we're gonna move,
we'll
yes.
run it all the way
We
across the
can
commercial
move it
property
to
to the
the-
residential property.
It doesn't,
Okay,
it
that's-
doesn't belong there.
And just
If we
remember
left
that
it there,
you
it
have
would
to come
be
in and
just-
pay your fees for the meter.
Another
hang it.
leak.
Yeah, another
Curb stops over
If
there.
they're
which
up
is,
big, you give it to them.
Yeah.
Well, we won't be able to use those curb stops, we're gonna have to get another one, yeah.
Well, that's
I-
all on their end.
That's-
That's-
Yeah,
Okay.
that's,
Okay, so
Yeah,
let's
let's go
say,
over there and take a look. Anybody's welcome to come over with us.
I'm gonna have to ride with either you or Nate, because
You
I
can
don't
ride
bring my
with me.
car.
Yeah.
So we are going to put,
And I promise I'm no longer contagious, so you won't get
so we are going to get all the information and hopefully have it before,
We have
by the first
end
of
the week.
August.
I'm hoping we'll have
So I
by
can put it
the
on the
end of
agenda
this
first,
week.
on the
Yeah.
5th.
Yep.
If not, we will set a special meeting.
Right.
How
Um,
many days in advance do you have to?
I have to have 48 hours in advance
To put it on the
to
agenda?
put it on the agenda.
Otherwise, everybody
So I have to post it for
Okay,
48
so,
hours.
so
So I have
everybody
to have it
knows
by
the
the
deadlines.
Right, so we've got 5 days plus the first 3 days in August that we can, get all the.
Getting information.
Put it off
Because I have to have the agenda up on Friday.
Right.
So it's posted for 48 hours.
Okay.
Can we put it on the agenda now, and then
That's-
if we
Well,
don't
that's-
know the
that's-
information?
would.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
probably
That's what I'm going
will
to
as
do
soon
is
as
I'm
we
going
get the
to
information.
wait and see, and if they have all the information, I'll put it on the agenda for August 5th.
Actually, we
Well,
can
I'm saying, can we put it on the agenda, and
But I
then if
don't
there isn't
see
the
why we
information,
can't,
can
then
we
we
table
can
put it on
discuss.
now, and if we don't have the stuff,
We can,
We can just table it for
we
a
don't
special
have it,
meeting.
we'll table it.
Yeah,
But at least just put it on.
that's it, I can put it on. Yeah, I can put it on, but if
Okay.
we have all the stuff, then
We should have, by
We
the
can
end
vote.
of this week, I should
Yeah,
have all
then if
that
we've got
information.
everything, we can move forward. If not, it can be tabled till the special meeting, but at least we've already got it on the docket.
you got it.
Right, right.
Okay.
And then that way, the faster we get everything approved and get the information, then the faster we can get those lines going from our mains to property line, and then you guys can have at it. You know.
You might also, I don't know what the rules are as far as commercial properties. You may want to look in what the minimum line is that has to be run to a commercial property.
Yeah,
So you might have to up it from a too much.
I know it
but-
varies from state to state.
Yeah, it would be worth
Yeah.
looking into just to make sure, since you're doing it, that you're not gonna have to redo it. You know, if that commercial
Well, we're-
property starts getting utilized
What we're
heavy.
looking at right now, if we can get a decent price from Mark, or even if we dig it ourselves, is replacing that sewer line and putting in a 4-inch line.
We're talking about the water.
And the water
Yeah.
line, a 2-inch line.
Yeah.
I'm
The
saying,
sewer line we
you
can do later.
I'm saying you might wanna make sure with the
Check.
state that that's
Make sure that the
big
sewage
enough
water line is big enough.
Yeah.
for a
for commercial.
residential and a
According,
commercial property.
according to what I've researched online, it is.
Commercial and a house. 'cause
Yeah.
we're
Yeah,
split.
because it's both.
Yeah.
A 2-inch would be sufficient for most commercial, but it may not if
Be with the
you need another
average
inch
house.
to inch and a half for a residential.
Right.
Because most of the lines going to houses are inch line, but it's out
And some of them are
or
3/4.
3/4 yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually a 1 to a 1.5 going into the home and 3/4 for all the attachments.
Everything Converse one.
But
For
if we
closed
put
down.
in
Yeah,
a
that's
larger
exactly-
water line too, you're gonna have to look at all of your fittings and stuff in your buildings to make sure that they will handle the new, the volume and the pressure.
Higher water.
Well, that's.
That's
I
their
know.
bidding.
all the lines we put in were,
It's all first-class stuff, I guarantee you.
everything
I
we,
guarantee you.
Mike and the,
Yeah, I just wouldn't want to
No.
put a 2-inch
Mike,
line in and
what
then
was the
turn the,
yeah, we paid yearly for it.
and then
And we used
have,
everything the town
have some-
required. When it was the big black pipe and the copper pennies, we wanted everything the town required.
Okay.
All right, so before we close, that's on the agenda for the meeting of the 5th. So then we got
On your own
something, whether we got
business.
information or not, so at least you know we're taking a step.
Right. And then,
And now let's go take a look, so I'm motion to adjourn.
Adjourned, take a look.
Okay.
Second.
motion to adjourn is second, all approved.
Hi.
We'll go take a QC, and, we should have that in.
At home, they have